All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And we are here once again. We're gonna get right into it. Um, as you can see, things are taking place now. Recently, there've been this push, right, for a more aggressive tactic with the Venezuela, right, with what you see with Trump, which I guess he basically delegated it to Pete Hegseth, and now they're bombing them, as they're calling them, cartels over there. Okay, and recently you had Trump. Basically, they asked him about it. A couple of things, right? They asked him. He said, if you suspect that, or if you think that Congress is going to be on board with you declaring war, then why not just go and ask them for a declaration of war? And he said, no, 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 we're just going to go ahead and do it. There's no need. I don't think there's a need for us to go and ask them for a declaration of war. And then very blatantly, he said, right, that they're going to be killing. They're going to kill people who bring drugs into their countries, into their ports, and it's as simple as that. They're going to be dead, like dead. So when you hear that, you hear that coming from his mouth, he's basically letting you know, like, the kind of mindset that he's in, right? If the cause is justifiable enough, then he's okay with doing whatever he needs to do, right? Taking it to whatever extremes he needs to take it to. So today it may be the cartels, today it may be it may be Venezuela, but tomorrow it's going to be you, the enemy from within. Right, it's going to be you when they demonize you enough to where they're justified in looking at you as a domestic thief, and looking at you as less than a human, and looking at you as on the same level of same threat level as the enemies they're going after over there. Then he's going to say the same thing about you, right? When they turn their guns on the American people, and you can see now it's the tension between both sides is escalating very quickly, as you have the Democrats now, they want to create this thing called master something, where it's a website that can allow people to track ICE agents, right, and then basically get their whereabouts in their operations. Now, there was an app like that. I think it was called Ice Block, and they had to remove it from the App Store because I guess it was a violation of basically obstructing justice and so on and so forth, right, putting federal law enforcement in danger. So Apple took it from the App Store, but now the Democrats are like, nah, F that. We're gonna create a website for it. So you can see that they're saying that, knowing that you have cases where you got drug cartels putting bounties on the heads of ICE agents, right? ICE agents getting doxxed. Doxxed meaning like their personal information is basically leaked online, so people can find out who they are. And somebody described that website as basically giving a hitman a map, right? So they can go and do what they got to do. So what you're starting to see is that the lines are being blurred between what is like the border, right? What is like the red line not to cross, because now they're that desperate. And this is the time of the destabilization of America. So this is all a part of that plan for it. But this is also the time of the truth flourishing. So let's get that real quick.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
Right, evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. And evil has been spread forth upon the face of the planet Earth. Let's get that real quick in Job 9 and 24. Ever since this Esau Edom was put in power. And then I'm gonna see if I can find, there's one in the book of Maccabees that talks about evils were multiplied upon the face of the earth. Okay, so we get that after. But as it says, evil shall be put out. And that's what we're getting ready to see. The scriptures say that, I think it's in 2 Thessalonians, until he be taken out the way, the man of sin, the man of perdition. So he is the one who has been appointed to push evil upon the face of the earth. Okay.
Verse 28. As for faith, it shall flourish.
Right. As for faith, it shall flourish. But that's talking about faith amongst the body of believers, right? Faith amongst the elect. Because on a world scale, faith is not flourishing. faith in Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, that's not flourishing. But amongst, in terms of numbers, but amongst the few, it's very rich, or it's very high in faith. There's a high concentration in faith amongst the elect, as opposed to the rest of the world. So as it says, as for faith, it shall flourish. And why is it going to flourish? Because as we see these end times and these prophecies getting closer and closer, the Lord is not only strengthening our spirit, but our faith as well. Okay?
Corruption shall be overcome,
Mm-hmm.
and the truth, which had been so long without fruit, shall be declared.
Yeah, and that's what's happening right now. Right, for a period of time, there was that darkness where nobody was, the truth wasn't being proclaimed. Now, this doctrine, this truth is not new, right? But it is revived. So for a period of time, it was absent, but the Lord has brought it back, and now it's being openly declared. You got it.
The person that's being resuscitated, they were alive at one point, but then when you CPR, they come back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and hey, the scriptures tell you that, right? It's the spirit of life entered into them, and they stood upon their feet and exceeding great army. Let's get that in Job.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9:24, and it reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked."
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So when something is given into the hand of somebody, which hand meaning control, if you were walking with your child, right, and they're going in the wrong way, you grab them, and when you grab them, you are basically establishing control over them, right? Because you can pull them towards you, you can hold them so they don't go somewhere. All right. So when something is in your hand, you have control over it. That's why people always try to reach. They'll try to reach for something if they're trying to gain control over it. So when it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, it means that the earth, the power over the earth, is given into the control or the influence or the authority of the wicked. And we know who the wicked is pursuant to Malachi, the 1st chapter, right? Dealing with Esau, Edom. So they're the ones who are given control right now over the earth. And as it says, given, because the Most High gave it to them so they can fulfill prophecy. Okay?
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Right. And so when you go into history, you'll notice there's something called iconoclasm, which is just one example of them covering the faces of the judges thereof. They painted the angels, in their likeness. They painted the Israelites in their likeness. They painted the Lord in their likeness, right? And deceived the world to believe that that's what they actually look like. And those are the true judges of the earth, right? The Most High, His Son, the nation of Israel, right? Go ahead.
If not, where and who is he?
Right. So right there, going to show you that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So as we read, faith shall flourish and evil shall be quenched. That means that wicked is going to be taken out of power. Got that? Nice.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Which is dealing with history, right? We know Alexander, and in that 12 years, he did a lot of conquering, because the Most High was with him to do that. Because to conquer the territory that he conquered from Macedon all the way to the border of India, that's a large space to conquer in a span of 12 years. Because it's not like they were just there like, oh yeah, come and take over us. He had to war. He had to go to war with them. So the Lord had to have been with him, because today, it takes decades for them to just topple one government or take over one country. Okay.
Verse 8. And his servants bear rule, every one in his place.
Right. So those that were under him, basically, when you go into the history of it, they had two divisions, right? Because Alexander became like a king, and after he died, his kingdom was parted amongst his generals, right? You had I think it was the partition of Triparadisas and then the partition of Babylon, which was different points where they came together to divide up the territory of Alexander amongst the generals or amongst themselves. Got it?
Verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
Right. And putting crown upon yourself means that you have dominion, right? So when they divided up his territory, they basically had dominion over different parts of it. All right. You had the Ptolemies, which got the south, right? So that was a portion of Koel, Syria, which Koel, Syria goes back to the Hebrew Kal, Syria, which means all Syria. So they had a portion of that going down into Egypt, all right? And they also had different parts like Cyprus and some borders over there. And then you had the mainly Seleucus was more so in the east. He had like, you know, Syria and going more and more east. But over time, they started to establish their different regions. Okay, some in Macedon and Thrace. So they had rulerships and dominions in those areas. They set up their own dynasties and empires over there. Go ahead.
I'll read verse 9. Verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years.
Yeah, that's where you get Seleucus the first, right? Antiochus the second, Antiochus, you know, the Seleucus the this and the that and that. Those were their sons after them ruling in that same stead.
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right, and there you go. So when they put crowns upon them their heads, and they started to rule and reign, it didn't say that righteousness was multiplied on the earth. It says evils were multiplied upon the earth because of the nature that's within them. It tells you that in the book of Psalms, right? So they have an evil nature within them, and that's why when they began to rule, they started to implement and institute different and wicked ways and practices upon the earth, just like they do today. The Lord gave Esau technology today, but what does he decide to use it for? He has technology to fix the world's problems, but he doesn't work that way. He doesn't operate that way. He creates problems so that you can allow his more sick, twisted, and demented solutions. Because if he came to you with a pitch or a proposal, you wouldn't necessarily be down with it because it's going to disturb your peace, right? So instead, he'll create a problem that can force your hand to say, you know what, I got no option but to just go down and take this solution. And that's a prime example was with the whole lockdown that they had a couple years ago. People don't even know what that was about.
I was going to say it was prime example was with the Vicky.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that was a social experiment as well, because it showed you how they can manipulate the minds of the people. You know, psychology. Yeah, how's it going? Can I take a picture? Yeah, you're good. Psychology is it's something that they study a lot. You know, when it comes down to these elites and their higher ups. You know, because as we always tell you, it's not Jacob Rothschild or Evelyn Rothschild or Michael D. whatever Rothschild. They're not the ones who are sitting there reading all these psychological books and you know, pinpointing everything and saying, okay, you know, on the level of no. They come up with elusive plans, right? But they have people who specialize in bringing those plans to come to pass. If you want to build a house, you're not going to go and take a course on construction, take a course in architecture. You're not going to go and do all that before you build your own house because you're not going to be the one physically building it. You may tell them, okay, I want a living room. I want it to be this big. I want it upstairs and a downstairs. I want it to be like this, that, and the third. You tell them what your vision is and what you want. And they who know how to actually do it will do it. You'll get the best construction workers, right? You'll get the best masons, you know, you'll get the best carpenters, you'll get the best that know their craft. And then you tell them what you want and then they'll do it. So that's the same thing they do. And in psychology, there's different levels to it. What they teach you in school and so on and so forth, they're basically teaching you how to handle the byproducts of their society. That's all it is. All right, people go to, you know, I have to go to therapy and stuff like that. Most of the time, what is the therapist really doing? They're just talking to you, right? They're just talking to you, but people do not know how to think about the hard part. Society teaches you not to do that. So you need to go and see somebody who can slowly talk to you and get you to speak to them and so on and so forth. But then there's another layer to it, which is dark psychology. And dark psychology is, well, let's just say it's a very dangerous area to dwell in, because you got to have some level of darkness in you to be able to really go deep in that rabbit hole. All right, because with dark psychology, you got to throw out your emotions because you're going to be doing some sick, twisted shit. People are actually able to alter your memories by just talking to you with dark psychology. You know, if I met you, you know, in the morning and I had a blue, you know, let's say I don't know, a brown sweater on, and then I came back in the afternoon with a gray sweater on, and you're like, yo, what happened to your sweater? You know, did you change it? I can tell you, no, what you mean did I change it? And I'll act like I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'll make you feel like you're going crazy because you know I had a brown sweater on. Now I got a gray sweater on, but I'm acting like I always had a gray sweater on. And what I'll do is I'll mention events that happened earlier in the day, but I'll associate it to my gray sweater. I'll be like, don't you remember you said that this was a nice one? You were like, oh, when did you get this? Meanwhile, you said that about the brown sweater, you know? And I keep on doing that and messing with your head until eventually, if you break and you accept that, guess what? In the future, you'll always remember that I had a gray sweater. But in actuality, I had a brown sweater. So now I've altered your memories, because now in the future, you ain't gonna remember I had a brown. You've been convinced that it was great. And that's just a very light example of it. But you know, dark psychology goes into that kind of thing of finding loopholes in how the human brain works, exploiting it, and using that against people. And they have special people who have trained in that field, and they do that on a high level through the television, right? Telling lies to your vision, okay? Through the mainstream media. And what they did was they realized a lot of people are not watching mainstream media. Good morning. A lot of people are not watching mainstream media anymore. So now they're saying, okay, well, if they're going to alternative forms of media, we're going to ban the ones we can't control, and then we're going to infiltrate the ones we can control. So we'll make you think Fox News is against it's going against the grain, so you watch it more, and then we just basically get you from that angle. But at the end of the day, you know, you have people that are waking up to a degree. But here's the thing about it: it's not just about waking up, because whether you're awake or asleep, you're not going to stop what's coming. Okay, the fulfillment of these prophecies, it doesn't matter whether you're awake or not. You're not going to stop it from happening. There was more on that, or that was the main point. Let's get Isaiah 13. So, and also what's that? Second Ezra 15. The Lord said He's not going to hold His tongue anymore concerning the things that are going on in this place. And the scriptures tell you that once the Lord has purposed, right, and He has intended to make something happen or bring it to come to pass, nobody can stop that. So it may seem like you can't stop Esau, but really it's the Most High pulling his strings, and you can't stop that plan from coming to pass, because He's not going to repent of this evil that He has determined upon the people. And the reason is because they're so wicked and hard-headed that when you try to tell them about themselves, they tell you, no, don't come with that shit. Don't come over here with that. You know what Jay gonna tell you know what we're about over here, right? And we're not. I'm gonna tell you right now, we're not gonna stop. So you're wasting your time coming here trying to tell us to stop, and that's why we don't go over there trying to tell them to stop. Because if they want to stop, they know where to come to get the message. But clearly, they're not interested in that. So the Lord said, well, if you're not interested in stopping, you're not interested in repenting, I'm not interested in delivering you when I bring this destruction. Point blank, period. Just get that real quick. Start at I think verse 6.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and 6, and it reads, "How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty."
Meaning the Most High, the Almighty is the one that's going to bring it. And He's saying how, because you're not going to be able to escape the day of the Lord that He is bringing, the destruction He's bringing in that time. In Second Ezra, I think the 6th chapter, it tells you that at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. There's going to be a scarcity of food. There's going to be a scarcity of water. People are going to be desperate. They're going to be afraid. And they're not going to have any solution to their problem. Go ahead.
Therefore shall all hands be faint.
Yeah, and when your hands are faint, you know, on a literal level, you ever try to like make a ball of fist like really, really hard, but you can't? You know, it's like the more you try to, squeeze your fist, it's like your hand is just getting very weak. And that happens usually when, like, you have some deficiency inside your blood. But when it says all hands are faint, meaning you're not going to have the strength in your hands or the might to be able to do whatever it is you're trying to set your mind to do. What's the woman? All right.
And every man's heart shall melt.
Yeah, and every man's heart shall melt. Your heart meaning your mind, right? It's going to melt in the sense that you're not going to have any that's melting my mind. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Just press the damn shit. Anyway. Yeah, every man. Damn. Yeah, now imagine here it is, all hell's breaking loose. You're trying to steal a car and be sneaky with it, and it actually happens. Bitch, I'm leaving your ass over there. I'm snitching on you too. It was
in the movie when the guy in the chick was upstairs.
Oh,
And they
oh
couldn't-
yeah. What was it? American Blackout,
yeah.
where you had a dude and a chick, and they were hiding out in some abandoned, like, in a building, nobody was there, and then they freaking see a group of thugs coming up in there stealing shit. This bitch gonna open her mouth. I think it was actually just her, actually.
Yeah.
She gonna open her mouth, talking about, hey, what? They look up. They said, oh, we came for the couch, but that's there too, man. In a matter of seconds, they were up like 5-10 flights of stairs. Oh, she's right at the top and right back down. They got two people with her on their shoulders, and they taking her with the couch. Right back down, and now she's gone. And that was it. That's all you heard from her, that movie. So you try that shit in real life. See, the movie, at the end, once they leave the scene, they say cut. All right, cool, good. Now you go home. In real life, there ain't no cut, ain't no action. In real life, your dumb ass gonna do something like that, you're done. There is no coming back from that. And the dude is gonna come and find out the chick is not here, and he's gonna be messed up. Anyway, go ahead.
And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as woman that travaileth.
Yeah, they're gonna be in pain as a woman that's in travail, like a woman in labor going through those birth pains. And them, if you've ever seen a woman going through, especially if it's her first child, this the first time. This is the baby that's opening the womb, that's opening the matrix. They scream, they scream because that hurts. You got a baby's head that's coming out of a woman. Of course, she's gonna be screaming. But that's how the Bible likens these people in their affliction. That's how they're gonna be screaming.
Say nothing bad. That's what happened. You got 2 kids as well.
Yeah. Might end up eating them kids. That's the horror of the scriptures that a lot of people don't focus on. I forgot who I was dialoguing with, but I told him, I said, look, you got to go and read the book of Exodus, the book of Joshua, right? You got to go and read these books because you'll get a better sense of like raw nature. The scriptures is not sugar coated. Okay, it's a raw book. When you look at what the Lord told the Israelites to do when they went into the land, that was like a brutal, quote unquote, somewhat what people today they would have called it a genocide. Because he told them, look, go up in there, whether it's man, woman, or child, slay them with the edge of the sword. You know what that means? You know what that actually looks like? Today, people, they show on TV, some dude, stabbed up somebody and then ran. Oh my gosh, this guy's such a criminal, you got to catch him. Back then, you had a whole city. When you talk about Israelite men, warriors coming in there with swords, kicking on the door, cutting people, slicing people, stabbing women, children, cutting heads off and all that. I got you. And then on top of that, the Lord said, burn it. Don't leave anything left. Burn, destroy all that shit. I don't care who it is you see in there. Take them out. And if you don't, you're going to need to deal with me.
It goes to show you, like, nowadays, people, they're very hypocritical because they're doing the same thing with the Northern Kingdom. They telling them that they got to get out the land. And, they go to them black sites. Who knows what happens to them and them concentration camps. But the reason why we were doing it, because they say that Northern Kingdoms, like so-called Latinos, are illegal. But back then, those people were really illegal because they were breaking the laws. Like, if you had a group of people that were sacrificing their own children to Molech, all right, everybody would be up in arms about it and say, yo, we have to put a stop to that. So basically, that was what was happening back then. The Canaanites were doing the most abominable practices you could think of. Right? So it was justified for Joshua, the Lord's people, the Israelites led by Joshua, to go in there and break that up. Okay, and take them out the land, because that was truly the sense of being an illegal. All right, breaking the laws. But nowadays, they say that you're illegal just for there's no reasoning behind it. Just because of who you are, right? It's not about what you're doing. It's the fact that you're illegal because you're here, right? So when the Lord had it done, it was a righteous order to it. Everything that the Lord does is in a righteous order. But right now they're doing it. It's just, we don't like you. We hate you. You're here. All right. We deem you illegal and you're out of here. Okay. But when the Lord did it, there was a rhyme and a reason to it. It wasn't just willy-nilly,
Yeah. And when the Lord told Samuel or Saul to go and slay the Amalekites, he said, slay all of them, and Samuel had to come and finish the job, and that wasn't a light thing to see. You can't be squeamish. You cannot be squeamish around the Lord, because the Lord is not squeamish. He doesn't see blood and he's like, oh, that's a little too brutal. The term brutal comes from the Lord. He invented that. Everything on the right hand and everything on the left comes from the Lord. Okay? It's like somebody that's experienced in a yo, man, somebody that's experienced in a field or something, right? Yo, Jay gotta go. They gotta go. Like, they gotta go yesterday, man. Yeah, this dude's walking around with a shirt that says "Daddy's Little Meatball."
Oh, shit.
Like, bro, and of course it's Jake. And that's probably his out of my partner that he's walking with.
Yeah.
Man, hey, that's why the Most High got a mean judgment for this person, man. How you think the Lord look? Here it is. The Lord looked down. Yesterday, the Lord looked down and he saw some abominable shit. He got mad. He turned away. He turns around today and he sees the first thing he sees is this shit. Daddy's Little Meatball. Proudly too. In red and green.
Big bright color so you can read it and see it. Crazy.
Yo, man. That's why the Lord's not gonna have. Hey, he said it in Ezekiel. Don't and let not your eye spare. Don't have pity. Okay, the Most High is not ready to have pity on these people. Matter of fact, let's get a precept. It's in Jeremiah the 8th chapter. I think it's maybe the 16th verse, where the Lord mentions, if he intends to do evil against the nation and they repent. As a matter of fact, we can start at verse 7. Jeremiah 18 and 7.
18.
Yeah, 18 and 7.
This is the book of Jeremiah 18 and verse 7. At what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to pluck up and to pull down and to destroy it.
So the Lord is saying that if at any point, I pronounce judgment against the nation, right, to destroy it, evil intentions against it. Got it?
If that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of the evil that I thought to do unto them.
Right. So if they repent, then the Lord says, he's gonna repent. He's gonna, change his mind. Peradventure, right, they may have a chance at survival. Because the Lord has a problem. If the Lord says, I got a problem with what you're doing, and you stop, cool. Sometimes. But if he says, I got a problem, he's gonna tell you himself. Got it?
And at what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to build and to plant it, if it do evil in my sight, that it obey not my voice, then I will repent of the good wherewith I said I would benefit them.
Right. So the Lord's like, well, the opposite is true as well. Right. If I have good intentions for you, I have good plans for you, but then you're basically, I have good plans for you because you're on good behavior and you start doing bad things. I'm not gonna do that good to you. Right?
Now therefore go to speak to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Which today, that would be basically all of Israel. Right? Back then, the Lord said that because those that were in the land were those of Judah, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But now we're in the midst of all 12 tribes. So we're speaking the same thing, or whatever it is that the Lord is about to tell Jeremiah to speak onto all Israel. Because it remains true even till today. You got it.
Saying, thus saith the Lord, behold, I frame evil against you.
So the Lord's like, when you frame something, you're basically planning it. Right? So the Lord's saying, I have evil intentions against you. I got evil things planned against you. Just so you know. Go ahead.
And devise a device against you.
And the devices are planning. Go ahead. Come on.
Return ye now, every one from his evil way.
Yeah. So the Lord's like, look, I got some bad things coming your way. So repent, and turn away from your from your evil way, so that I don't got to do it to you, because I just set up above that if I have evil against the nation and they repent, I'm gonna repent. Go ahead.
And make your ways and your doings good.
Now, what does that actually look like? If you are a sodomite and the Lord says don't do that, what? Do you think you know more than the Creator? If the Creator tells you not to do something, He created you. He knows why He said that. If a car manufacturer says do not put this soap inside of your car's gas tank, why do you think they would say that? Oh well, you know what? Hey, they ain't never tried it. You know, we won't know until we find out. But there's a reason why a car comes with a manual. And then I'm sure less than 10% of people who own cars even read the car manual. You know, there's a reason why they got instructions on everything. Even a damn shampoo bottle got instructions on how to use it. Because it's designed a certain way to be effective a certain way. But if used incorrectly, it can be dangerous. Shampoo is not meant to be eaten. But they got to put it on the bottle. You know, hey, if a certain amount of this is swallowed, call poison control, by the way. So the Lord is telling you, I created you, and I'm telling you, don't live this way because it's not how you were designed to live. And if you don't, got it.
And they said, there is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices.
Now, when you was that on that verse? You got it.
And we will every one do the imagination of his evil heart.
When you read that in the NLT, they basically said, they telling Jeremiah, hold your breath, right? When they said there is no hope, they basically saying, look, hold your breath. Don't even come here and try to tell us. Because we're fully intended in our minds to follow our own ways. And every one of us is going to follow the evil intentions of our own heart. Like, yeah, exactly. You know, imagine how like brazen in wickedness you got to be to where the Lord is like, yo, like the Lord, a prophet is coming to tell you, yo, the Lord said he got some evil against you. Tell him, yo, stop talking. Stop. Don't even. Hold. Let me stop you right there, bro. All right. I'm gonna tell you something now. I'm gonna give you a little prophecy. You see me and these people over here. We love wickedness. We're not gonna stop. We've been doing this from our youth. You know. That's like today. They'll tell you I've been in the streets since I was a youngin. You know. I ain't stopped then. I ain't gonna stop now. The fuck are you trying to tell me to stop? You know. I dare you to come and try to stop me. That's their mindset. You know. I've been sleeping with people's wives since '98, you know, and I ain't about to change now. You ever read this? Oh, yeah? No, not right now, but yeah, I have. Read it.
This is verse 12 in the NLT. Jeremiah 18:12. It says, but the people replied, don't waste your breath. We will continue to live as we want to, stubbornly following our own evil desires.
So there you go. So you see why the Lord is justified in bringing that destruction? Because he can pull this up and say, yo, what did they tell? What did they tell you? Jeremiah, come in. What did they tell you when you went to tell them what I told you to tell them? Oh, well, Lord, they said, and then we're gonna read that. They said, don't bother us because we know what we're doing and we're gonna keep doing it. And then they're gonna turn around when judgment comes and act like, wait, what? How did this happen? How did we get here?
And that's exactly what Zedekiah did.
Okay.
When that happened. Zedekiah did just that.
Yep.
All of a sudden, when what Jeremiah said was coming to pass, the Babylonians was beating on the walls of the city. He was like, yo, Jeremiah, let me holler at you real quick. Knowing that he's been putting this man through hell. Jeremiah was in jail at the time, man, for the word of the Lord. You see? So that's Jake. And when you look at Jake right now, they have that same mentality. They're brazen with their wickedness, man. You got certain women, they'll post a meme that says, how I sleep at night knowing I'm an evil hoe. And it'll be a bitch sleeping on the pillow with a bonnet on. They know they're wicked, man. They just embrace it. But then they'll flip around the next day, you know, when the holiday season comes up, God is always my light. God always. This is like a real sick mentality, man. Like there's a few screws missing. The marbles ain't all the way there.
That's that daddy's little meatball mentality.
Oh.
Got it.
Hey, Shalom, Akim, Yahbashim, Shabraktam. Y'all can hear me?
God.
God, beautiful. Yeah, that's the spirit, because that's why ultimately, when we remember we're talking about this in the book of Judges, about how many times, you know, every time when we read that, the book of Judges, we all get frustrated because it's like, how many times does this God have to be this long suffering? That these people keep doing annoying shit. He brings judgment upon them by putting us into captivity underneath another nation. And then we kind of understand a little bit, okay, fine, we got it, Lord. And then he says, okay, cool. And then we cry, and then he sends somebody to come deliver us. And then just a few more years, boom, we go back to doing the same shit. And he's like, okay, this nation is going to take over you now. So really, when you look at it, the Lord had us in captivity under all these other nations that are around about us, right? When we actually went into the promised land, right? You had all these nations that are around us that ultimately we became captive to, okay? And you fast forward to now, that's why the Lord is like, look, I'm not about to even give you a chance to plead a case. This place is going to be destroyed within 1 hour. 1 hour is not enough time for people to be, have enough time for some form of reprieve. That's why it tells you in the book of Isaiah that men's hearts are going to fill them, okay, for fear of those things that's going to be happening upon the face of the earth. There's going to be paleness, right? Isaiah 13, it tells you there's going to be paleness, right? Have you ever seen a man in travail? All these different things, meaning that there's a time of trouble, so much so that the anguish and the pain is so much that the only thing you keep thinking about is, how do I get out of this, right? How can I reach to somebody who can help me? Okay, that's why a lot of people are going to be helpless. You're going to be hopeless. You're not going to know where to, ask for help because everybody's looking for help. You see what I'm saying? The whole entire country is in danger because they're about to get hit with thermonuclear destruction. You're not going to be getting out of that shit, man. Okay? And the Lord is going to pour that indignation upon you. It's like keeping you in a small little bottle with hot water. He just poured it upon you. Your skin is peeling off and it's still being poured upon you some more. All right? And no matter what you do, you wish you were either outside this small little bottle, or you was getting some cold water to kind of like cool down the heat. All right? But all you keep getting is more heat, more water. And right when you think it's over, the Lord says, "Give me the bigger jar." And he starts pouring nice and slow, pour just the heat, And then right when that's almost done, give me the other one that's back there, the hotter one. Let me get that one. Then he starts pouring that shit. And you're just this small little object, and it's like, Lord, I'm dying. I'm pretty much dead at this point. Let me get that last one right there. Let me just there you go. Pour some more into that. Okay? So that's the anguish. That's the anger of the Lord until it's done. And there's nothing you, tiny little creature in that small little bottle, can say that's going to stop him from bringing that heat, man. All right? Because you heard ample amounts of warning telling you, don't get into that bottle because that bottle is going to be filled with water very soon. It's going to be hot, and anyone who's in there is going to be dead. Nigga said, "Nah, we're going to build a ladder to get into that bottle. We got to find out what's really going on in there." That's these niggas. No. The one place you said not to go, that's where we building. Everything we got is building towards that place. We need to find out why this man is telling us not to go over there. And then now you about to find out. Okay? Quick precept. This is a book of Proverbs chapter 1. Just jump down a little bit to verse 27. It says, "When your fear cometh as desolation, and destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you." So the Lord is not going to move until that time when you are in trouble, right? When you are in trouble, when you're going to start looking for him, that's when he's going to be like, well, hey, close the doors, right? It says, "Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me." It's like that bad bitch that, every day she live in your building, right? But every day you see her, she gave you the attitude like that kind of vibe. Like, damn, bitch, like, you new here. I've been here for a minute. If anything, you want to get cool with me because I can tell you the ins and outs, the times you should be going inside and outside this building because, you know what I'm saying? There are certain people you don't want to be too cool with, right? I can give you the inside scoop. So while you're here, until you kind of get a feel for yourself, initially, you're going to have some guidance. Now, you treated me like shit. Like, you see me and you think I'm the bad guy. Cool. So then what happens is when the shit that I could have warned you about starts happening, who you going to go to? The only person that you kept seeing every day that you just kept treating like shit is the one person you're going to go to because everybody else's door is locked. You've never met anybody else in there. It's just that one guy that you keep treating like shit. So guess what? She going to run straight to this nigga's door. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, they're running to my house, da-da-da-da-da-da. And guess what? I can't help you because I could have told you, yo, at this time, do not go outside because if you go outside, you're going to get caught out there, right? You didn't know because you just new to this neighborhood. All you found was, wow, it's very strange. Nobody goes out after a certain time. Oh, it's just me. Because you coming from a different world thinking everything is sweet. Meanwhile, I was trying to tell you, hey, listen, over here, you can't get out past sundown. Your whole ass, oh, yeah, whatever. Boom. Now you getting shook. Who you going to come to? The first guy, boom, 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 knocking his door. Yo, there are some guys out there, like, why didn't anyone tell me this? Can I please come in for protection? It's too late now. It's too late because I can't open my door for you. See what I'm saying? Once I open my door, they could come in and get me. So fuck that. This is what I was trying to tell you from the beginning, but you ain't trying to hear it. Now you want to hear everything I got. Now you want me to help you. It's too late now. Okay? So it's the same thing. Everyone's going to be looking for the men of the Lord as a form of reprieve, as a form of stability. Okay? Because they know we're the only ones that have the answers to all the things that's going on. We're the only ones on the earth that have the answers to it, man. All right? And then that's what keeps us stable, as is written in Isaiah 33:6. Okay? It says what? It says, "They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me." All right, so the door is locked. Okay, you're looking, but you can't find them. Because when he was there, you weren't looking, man. So he left. All right, he left. Now you're trying to look. Oh, where did he go? Did he turn left? Did he turn right? He out of there. Nobody saw him. He's gone. And oh, when is he gonna come back? Bitch, it don't matter. He's not coming back in due time for you to still be alive for him to come and save you. He out of there, man. Okay. Verse 29 says, for that they hated knowledge, right? You didn't want to know what was going on. Please don't bring that Hebrew Israelite shit over here. That's what they said, right? And did not choose the fear of the Lord. They were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Not some, but all, because they weren't meant to get it. So every single prophet who came and told him the same thing, he faced the same ridicule, the same condemnation, the same incredulity, man. This is the nature of our people, bro. Okay? And if we're seeing it, like Ashiar was saying about the nature of these women, if we are seeing it, then how much more the Heavenly Father? Okay? Because you women, you're so exposed with the bullshit and the hypocrisy. Okay? But yet you keep on, pushing it on. Like, don't you see the world that we're living in now? That your tricks is not working no more? You got men saying they're going their own way. Okay? So all the tricks that you got going on, you appear to be something, but you're really not. All right? All this, I got my body done, all this extra shit, that's a form of that demented shit that these women are under, man. A whole bunch of demons. Like I sure said, they got a few screws loose. They got all their screws loose, man. They're out of there. Okay? It says, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, right? And be filled with their own devices. That's why the government shutdown is going to affect a lot of you women the most. Okay? That's why you put all your stock into that shit. But guess what? This is not the type of stock that you finna reap out of. Man. This stock, all your stock is all tanked. All right? You put your stock in this system, it's all tanking. You can't get out. You can't sell. You can't do shit. Now you're broke. Now you're in debt. Okay? Now you're in debt. It says, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. And a lot of you women are fools. A lot of you niggas, YNs, you're all a bunch of fools, man. Okay? You're a whole bunch of fools. Why? Because you don't believe in Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. You don't believe in the power that we coming out here to tell you about. You want to keep pushing God and Jesus Christ because that to you is non-threatening. That to you, it doesn't hold you accountable. That to you is a safe space. Okay, I could be whatever I want. I could be a Mo, and God still loves me because I said so. Who the fuck is you, man? Huh? You go around forcing people to love you, or just because you claim someone loves you, they do it? Do they actually do? How much more the Heavenly Father? Don't you understand that people go in relationships and they get what they call breakups, right? Because one person doesn't love the other, and then they break up, right? Are you gonna keep saying, well, even though you broke up with me, I know you still love me, so I'm just gonna keep coming around here like we're in some type of relationship? You gonna get cops gonna get caught on you, man. Okay, get this motherfucker up out of here. That's the same thing the angels, the Lord gonna tell the angels, oh, who's this guy over here? Get him up out of here, man. He don't belong here. Okay? It says, but whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. So wouldn't you want to be in that kind of space? Wouldn't you want to be in the company of people who are going to be kept safe when all hell is breaking loose, where the only thing that's going to matter to you is safety? I mean, come on, man. All right? But you got it, bros.
Yeah, you get that in Judges. There's a prime example of what the brother was talking about. That disobedience of Israel, right? That hard-headedness and not following the ways of the Lord. And they're gonna find out because the Lord is going look. Even the Lord runs out of patience, right? He's long suffering, but and you know what? Honestly, the Lord is long suffering because He's already appointed everything, right? The angel told Ezra that. The angel Uriel told Ezra that the Lord has measured everything. So He is set an appointed time when He's gonna have everything come to pass. Why did the Lord choose? Was it 413 years or so, or 30, or somewhat around that time to deliver Israel from captivity? 430. Why did He choose the 430? Because He had measured everything already. It wasn't a random number. Okay, so it's the same thing. The Lord, He's long suffering because He's waiting for the time that He is appointed before He does X, Y, and Z. And you are supposed to use that time to get yourself right, because once it's go time, it's go time. His go time is not based on how ready you are or not. Lord is not waiting for you to be ready. He's waiting for the time He's already set. So you got to work on His time. You got it.
Here's the book of Judges, chapter 2 and 1, and it reads, and an angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochim, and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and have brought you unto the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you.
Yeah, so that's the Lord. That was the Lord keeping His promise, right? And He delivered us out of Egypt, as He showed Abraham. Okay, made a covenant with us And you could already see that in the first couple of days, the Lord's already like, damn. Like if you imagine you meet a chick, right? And then y'all get together and you like, yo, within the first couple of days of being together with this chick, you already know that, oh yeah, this is gonna be problems. Yeah, this is gonna be problems. Here, meanwhile, you put a ring on her. And you like, yo, the first night she woke up already trying to cause issues. And you like, damn, it's gonna be a long marriage. That's how it was when the Lord, made a covenant with Israel, and then within the damn honeymoon phase, this bitch already being a demon. Now that the shit going from honey to the vinegar moon. You wondering, how am I gonna get out of this? But I can't because I made a promise. Shit. Let me start with you, Moses. Come here. God.
And ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land.
So the Lord told you, you disobeyed him in the wilderness. He said, all right, fine. He got you to the land. He said, okay, now I'm actually giving you the land. You got to wipe everybody off of it, though. Did they do that? No. Go ahead.
Ye shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice.
Yeah, and as I was saying, over there in the land, they were polluting it. The Canaanites, they were doing a lot of egregious behavior, right? Temple prostitution, ritual sex, okay, where there was actually a thing. People would pay and they would perform a sex rite by laying with the temple prostitute, chanting certain things, all in the name of that deity. I remember I showed brothers a video. I saw it from it was a TV show called American Gods, and in the TV show there was this I think she was a deity, but she was basically she looked like a black woman, and she wore a red dress. She went to a club to basically just like attract men. So she would get them, she would seduce them, take them to some back room, and sleep with them. And that's it. Yeah.
You talking about the pussy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't ever show me some shit like that.
Yo, she's basically, getting it on with them. And as they're getting more into it, she's basically drawing their life force. And all you see is all of a sudden this bitch is looking bigger and bigger and bigger, and the dude is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and then she shoves him inside her thing. So she basically consumes him. And you watching this shit like, oh wow, I did not see that coming. So now everybody got suffered, Hey, but that's to like visualize the kind of weird off things that they were doing, like sacrificing their children and all those things. Like I was saying, and that's why the Lord said, I don't want you even around people like that. If you're in a certain neighborhood and it's bad influence, your parents try to isolate you as much from the people there as possible because they don't want you to get influenced by them. Like in the TV show Supercell, one of the characters who has super strength, his son, basically by being in the wrong area and hanging out with the wrong crowd, started getting influenced to sell drugs. Because of this guy, chimpanzee looking dude, the main villain. I forgot his name. Supercell, the main evil villain.
Oh, what's his name?
Craze. Yeah. His boys basically started influencing the dude's son. You froze. All right, you back. You gonna say something? Oh,
No,
okay, I saw
I'm
you.
good. My phone is bugging out, but I'm all right.
Oh, okay,
No,
okay.
we're good.
All right, con. But yeah, you got it.
Why have ye done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you.
Yeah, so the Lord said, well, since I told you to eliminate them and you didn't eliminate them, I'm also now I'm gonna just leave them there, and they're gonna be a thorn in your side. So when you had the Philistines constantly raiding our lands, coming in there and doing this, and we got to go to war with this guy and go to war with this people and so on and so forth, that was because Israel didn't follow the instruction of the Lord. Got it?
But they shall be as thorns in your sides, and their gods shall be a snare unto you.
Yeah, a snare unto you, which is a trap, right? So it's like this, right? It's like the Lord telling you, yo, I'm about to send you to this new school, right? Or I'm about to send you to this new job. But over there's a lot of bad influences, So when you go, don't hang out with them. On your break, don't sit with them. Don't associate with them. If you can, work on a different floor. Your dumb ass goes there and says, nah, it's all right, I'm going to work on the women's floor with all the bad influences. There's nice looking shorties over there. Meanwhile, they all married and they all known for trying to seduce new guys that come in there. So the Lord is like, okay, since you didn't want to listen, I'm gonna leave you right there. Just know that no matter what comes out of it, the laws don't change. So if you're gonna put yourself in the midst of adulterous, seductive women, and you end up getting seduced, that's on you. You know, the reason I told you was because I know that it's a snare. A snare is a trap, and if you're not careful, you'll step into it. You got people who set traps, and sometimes they themselves get caught in the traps that they set because they're not being careful, especially if it's a very elaborate trap. So the Lord, knowing that these nations would entice Jake to serve their gods, and mainly how they do it is through their women, like the Midianite women, you know, because they know, you know, the woman is pretty. If she wins his heart, she can win his mind as well, and win souls onto Baal. You know, that's how they get you, because they know, Jake, that's, you know, if they can get to your mind. Look, if Eve could get to Adam, and Adam being the Yahushua, the greatest, of course. You know, who are you?
You see how the small hats in the land now, they try to use that logic to take out hummus, you know, and basically they'll wipe out a whole apartment building because they'll say in the basement it was one member of hummus. All right. But yet you want to take hold of that covenant. You want the part of the covenant where you can just destroy everything. Which, yeah, the Lord gave us the power over the nations at that time to go into the land of Canaan and clean it up and to destroy our enemies, right? But you don't want to actually abide by what is written, because you have Tel Aviv, Pink City. By that same logic, you and that whole land got to be wiped out now. You see? So you'll go over there and say, well, we had to wipe out this whole city because there was like 5 people in there that we didn't like. Well, guess what? You got Tel Aviv, you got a whole city of moles. All right, but you want to justify that. Okay, so when the Lord goes, the Lord got to clean that whole land up. It's so bad to where fire has to come and sweep through. It ain't enough for us to just destroy the cities. You know, it ain't enough for the Lord to just destroy the cities and just say, all right, we're going to be done with it. We'll inhabit these cities. We'll clean up the buildings, you know, throw some hand sanitizer on it. No, the Lord's going to sanitize it with fire. It's got to be completely wiped out down to the bare bone minimum. All right, just the land, and then build it back up again. All right, but Bible, you see the logic that they try to flip the logic of the scriptures, but they don't want to abide by what's written in the book. They want to be the people. They want to have the power over the nations, but they don't want to actually be obedient to the Most High.
Right. You got it.
Hey, but you know, real quick, the main reason why the Lord has to, like Ishar said, do a actual cleansing is because these devils have in their nature, as is written in Malachi, the 1st chapter, that they will return to and build back the desolate places. So even when you destroy them, in their mind, over time, they come back and do the same thing, even worse. Like, I mean, what kind of people go back to the Tower of Babel? Okay, the Lord literally just says, "Yo, we're gonna create different languages just to confuse these niggas, right? We're gonna destroy the whole shit." Like, they had it in their minds to go up there. And that's the devil for you. And they have the same spirit today. You know, go borrowing from the spirit of Nimrod. Let's build this tall tower going up into the heaven to pierce the clouds, and then we go make war against the one who's controlling all of this. That's a demon. That spirit is back here again. That's why we say the practice of these devils goes back to ancient Babylonian customs. Okay, that the time of Nimrod and all that those philosophies are back here again. And this time they said we're going to use AI to basically make ourselves greater than the Most High. Okay. It tells you that in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, okay, that who opposeth and exalteth himself above all is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. That's the same spirit from the Tower of Babel. Okay, so the Lord has to literally destroy America completely and then cleanse the land of Israel, because that's the Holy Land. Remember, Yahushua was born there. There's so many different miracles that happen over there. Do you know how many wars happen over there? Okay, you know what kind of spiritual things that's happened in that land that's being defiled right now as we speak? The Lord's land, man. Out of all the lands on the earth, he chose that part of the world, man. That part of the earth. He gave it to us and blessed it. And these devils went in there and tainted it, destroyed it completely. Okay? So when the Lord comes back, when he comes back again, that's his land. Okay? So when...
Oh, okay. Nah, you good now.
Yeah, I was getting...
Oh, okay.
All right. You know, that's Yahushua's. You know, so when he comes back, he has the right to come and put it in order how he sees fit, which would be the perfect order. Okay, so Esau, you're gonna be out of there. You're not gonna get a chance to come back and build no desolate places, bro. It's over with. All right, but you got it, bro.
John, you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say that fire is like the ultimate cleanser. You know, if you want to cleanse your land, it's best to light it on fire to clear out all the impurities, and it will go back new again, refreshed.
Yeah. There's a practice of doing that. You know, there's a certain way to do it, but of course, you know, there's merit to that. You know, and why they actually do that.
Remember, we had spoke about Gehenna too. The Valley of Hinnom, that was the garbage dump they would go, and that was the place where they were doing those sacrifices to Molech, and they were so disgusted by it after the Lord showed them the error of their ways and whatnot, that at the time they turned into a garbage dump. What you would do is take the garbage and put it over there, and then they would just burn it up. And I think farmers had the same practice, like extra refuse and things that had no use, they would just burn it up, and then you could use the ashes as like fertilizer.
Yeah. They did that in Ghana. You know, there would be a time where you see a whole bunch of smoke, you know, and it would be like sometimes it'd be like a pit or a certain field, and you would think that it was like a wildfire, but then you find out that no, it's actually deliberate, that they did that for a reason, you know. But yeah, go ahead.
Besom of destruction.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Judges 2:4, and it reads, "And it came to pass, when the angel of the Lord spake these words unto all the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voice and wept. And they called the name of that place Bochim, and they sacrificed there unto the Lord."
Yeah, and this is why the Lord at some point was like, you know, to hell with your sacrifices. I don't care about your tears, and I don't care about your words. All right, because they don't mean anything, and we're gonna find out why. Go ahead.
And when Joshua had let the people go, the children of Israel went every man unto his inheritance to possess the land.
Yeah, so they went to their land. You know, remember the Lord, the Lord, and this is why the scriptures say the saints shall take the kingdom, right? Because the Lord told them, all right, the land is divided. This is gonna be your lot. This is gonna be your lot. This is gonna be your lot. But now you got to go and take it, because them heathens were still on the land. So that when you read in the book of Joshua, the conquest was, I think, after conquering the east side of the Jordan, they agreed that the half tribe of Manasseh and Reuben and so on would go and fight with their brethren to help conquer the other lands, and then they would come back to their land. So yeah, the land was divided, but now you had to go and get it. You're not gonna get it. Got it.
And the people served the Lord all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders that outlived Joshua, who had seen all the great works of the Lord that he did for Israel. And Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died being 110 years old. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath Perez, in the mount of Ephraim, on the north side of the hill Gaash. And also all that generation were gathered unto their fathers, and there arose another generation after them.
So they basically died when it says they were gathered unto their fathers, because their forefathers were dead. So they died, they were buried, and then there was the next generation, the Gen Zs. Go ahead.
Which knew not the Lord, nor yet the works which he had done for Israel. And the children of the Lord, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served Balaam.
There you go. So now that this new generation came in, who didn't know the Lord, right? Who didn't follow the ways of the Lord, as it says, they came in and now they're on some servant Balaam joint. They didn't even, the scriptures say, seek the old paths. They didn't even seek the old paths. You know, they were not looking for the no. They said, what? What's the new thing? What's the thing that's hip? What are the nations doing? You know? Oh, and you know what it is? Sometimes it's not about how high quality it is of the things they're doing. It's just the fact that it's different. So here it is. You got all this, like, you know, top notch, good quality, top of the line stuff that the Lord gave you. But because this other nation has something that's different, and you're told you can't have that, that's what's making you want to go ahead and see what that's about. You know? So it's that curiosity. That's why the saying goes, curiosity killed the cat. And cats are very curious creatures. Except they got 9 lives and you don't. You got it.
And they forsook the Lord God of their fathers.
See, they forsook the Lord. So the Most High that got him there in the first place, when this new generation came up, they say, yeah, nah, forget him. We want to go see what's up with Baal. Go ahead.
Which brought them out of the land of Egypt and followed other gods of the people that were round about them.
And that's why the Lord said, eliminate them. It was the very same, you know that frustration you get when you tell somebody, typically it'll be a woman too. You tell her, don't do X, or your child, don't do X or don't do Y, and they're going to do X and they're going to do Y, and then they bring on trouble that stresses you and everybody else out. And you get very frustrated, especially when you're explaining to them, this is the exact same reason I told you not to do X, because of this. And it's even worse when you tell them that this is going to happen, and then they still do it, and then this happens. And they turn around with a dumb look on their face like they didn't know what was going to happen. They just don't listen.
After a while, I have to like calm my anger down. I just be like, look, it's been like 10 plus years you going through this. So I just gotta just deal with it and just be like, look, expect this shit. Because like obviously it's not clicking. I know she's an older woman, but it's like after a while, it's like, yo, I'm not telling you this for my health. I'm telling you this because I know you're going to do some dumb shit, and then guess who you're gonna come to? Me. I have to now deal with this. So to prevent the dumb shit from happening, I tell you what not to do, so that way there are no problems. But no, you insist on doing this shit, and then now I have to come and fix the problem. And then, like you said, you come to me with this dumbass shit.
So you see that frustration? Now imagine that amplified to the degree of the Most High having to deal with that with Israel. You know, on the simple thing. Because the thing is like, it's not that you have to do it. That's the annoying part on top of it. It's not that you have to do the stupid shit that you do. It's the fact that you just want to do it, you know, because you don't want to follow order. And that's what really angers the Lord. I mean, it would anger you too. You know, hey, we're all patient. But sometimes, like, imagine trying to explain something so basic to somebody, and you're trying. You're like, no. Hey, they show you that in the memes, right? Now, son, if I got 5 apples, you know, and I get 1 more, how many apples do I have? 50. Yo, call the mom. Give her the belt. You know what I'm saying? Let her, you know, go to work on his ass. Because in the beginning, the mom is frustrated. She about to whoop his ass. So the dad comes in. Whoa, hold on. Let me get a crack at him. And then the dad is like, hey, nah, I see why she was frustrated. Because if you can't get something that simple, because I could tell you, and the crazy part is, he gonna ask him, how many fingers do I have up? 3. Now I added 1 more. Now what is it? 5. 4. Okay, it's 4. All right. So now I'm gonna add 1 more. Now how many is it? 11. This nigga right here. And that's Israel to the Lord. He like, these motherfuckers, we just read in the beginning of the chapter, he comes and tells them, did I not tell you to empty the land? You didn't do it, right? So now I'm going to leave them in there. They're going to be a thorn. Oh, they cried unto the Lord. Oh, they sacrificed to the Lord. Oh, they said, Lord, we're going to follow your ways. Okay. While Joshua was there, they did it. Joshua dies, these motherfuckers are worshiping Baal. See how the Lord looks at him like, the angels probably got to hold him back the Lord up in his throne. You know?
You gotta use reverse psychology just to get through the Jake.
Yeah.
You know, like when they another example, when they went to go scope out the land, Joshua and Caleb, they gave a good report. The other 10 spies gave a bad report, and Jake was like, nah, we can't do this. The Lord is asking too much. Meanwhile, the Lord just destroyed a whole nation for your sake. Right. But you complain about these little Canaanites, but then after the Lord told them, all right, listen, you're gonna wander in the wilderness for 40 years and fuck y'all anyways. So then Jake turned around. No, we ready to go to the battle now. We ready. Let's go, everybody. Come on, hooray. And meanwhile, the Lord already checked out on you. When the time was, you had a moment to not tempt the Lord. And this is what the brothers been getting into, is tempt not the Lord, man. Right. That's a frustrating thing. Like, you know what I'm about. And you really want to see if I'm about it? Right. Like, you want to test my gangster for real. You want to see if I'm really going to do, well, I know he's capable, but is Pops really going to do what he said? Find out next time, the next episode of Wicked Ass Jake.
That's it.
You know? And that's where we at. We at the final season of niggas, man. We already seen how many seasons, man? We up to the 70-something season, man.
Mhm.
We had the season of Judges. We had the season of this one. We had the season of going into Jeremiah, the frustration that he had to deal with. To the point where he was like disappointed, like, man, Jake just keep letting me down. I'm trying to speak on your behalf, nigga. Stupid. Ezra. Yep.
It came out.
Yeah, came out of captivity, right? Ready for the next captivity.
I'm trying to help you out. I'm speaking. I spoke well on their behalf, Lord, but they just keep going. Like, all right, man. Yeah, they got it coming at this point. What can you do?
Yeah.
The Lord is still reaching his hand out. 2 Chronicles 36. You know, the remedy, you know, the help is still here to this day. Even after everything we said, the Lord's still showing you some compassion. Here's my servants. But what have you done? Fuck that, slap it away. Right?
I was gonna say, you gotta really think about the thread that Esther had. Like after that, it's like you gotta go because you're the main guy. You gotta go back and now talk to the Lord. And it's like you just know, like the eyes on you. Like, really gonna talk to me about that? Like, really? You already know what they done do. And you really gonna talk? It's like, what? Where do you even begin to like? You can't even formulate the words. It's like,
Yep.
I guess we going back to the captain. It's like at that point you gotta accept it because like yo, it's not even like like some of those was like a couple of years after. It was like instant. It's like yo, like he was just in there. Like how do you just do that? Like is there no thought process up there to back? Like
That's Jake.
Elijah.
Yeah.
Elijah was so frustrated, man, after he done destroyed the prophets of Baal, proved them to be full of shit. And Jake still turned back, not long after, to the point where he said, you know, Lord, just kill me. Just take me back. That the Lord imparted us with a certain sense of his frustration. You know, he has the ultimate frustration and anger, and he's going to let his fury, you know, he's going to vent his fury on you. But he also gave us this, you know, we're in the mind of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So we have that same frustration. The Lord is like, okay, now you see how I feel. You know, and even at time we have frustrated the Lord. So we know we come humbly and we have repented to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua and continue to do so. Oh, I already know it's bullshit. I didn't even have to see.
Yep.
You got it.
Yeah. That's it.
Northwest of the planet, bro.
That's it.
Ray Lewis. My name is God and Hebrew.
That's
Know
it.
about y'all. I'm doing research now.
That's it.
Another day with y'all. I have now.
All
My
right.
name is Shakar. You know the control trials in Israel. But like, how these niggas are stuck in the matrix.
Of course.
And they scare the people like me and y'all. I try to wake them up. They try to get them. I told them I'm from their phone. So I say, look, I G up myself to all the gods. All God on. So I gotta be careful about what I talk to. I know y'all know what's up.
That's it.
Y'all know good, I'm a Catholic y'all.
That's it. But yeah, hey, just like the brother was saying, man, is that hard headedness. You know, they don't want to get it. You know, they don't want to get it. But when the Lord brings that one, they ain't gonna have an option. You know, and we're about to read because hey, the Lord is fair. Nobody, when the Lord brings Jacob trouble, nobody can say, "Damn, Lord, you're being unfair," or "Oh my gosh, Lord, you know, I can't believe you're actually doing this to us." And you can't say that because the Lord got receipts and receipts and receipts for days. He's gonna be like, "Oh, hold on, you know how many years I had these men out there?" And each time, it's not like we're robots there. We feel the elements, you know. We got things in our lives that we got to do, but we put that all aside to serve the Lord. So the Lord can say, well, look, they were laboring day in and day out. You know who was for you. Did you once stop to listen and say, yo, you know what? The things that we're going into, I think what they're saying makes sense. Let me actually listen to what it is that they're saying. No. So the Lord is going to say, you know what? This is how you walk by. I'm going to walk by you. And when you're starving, I'm going to have the prophets walk by you. They're going to have food in their hands, though. You know, as it says in Isaiah, the 65th chapter. And these people don't know. Look, we're talking about it, right? I was telling Haran about it. A lot of people, they haven't experienced, like, they don't know what to do if the power goes out, you know, for an extended period of time. So initially, they're going to be in denial. Oh, yeah, no, it'll come back. No, it'll come back. It'll come back. Now you're freezing your ass off in the second night. No food, no water. You know, and then they start bugging out and losing their minds because they haven't been in that situation. Then they're gonna start to piece together the words we were speaking in reality and see, oh, I see how why they put so much emphasis on what they were saying. You know, because us telling you, yeah, there ain't gonna be no food, no water, that's about what, a couple seconds worth of speech that you can easily hear and just let it go out the other way and then just think about something else. Now, when you're in your house and your stomach is hurting and you're tired and you're hungry, that's not a couple seconds worth of speech. That's a whole reaction going on through your body and your mind. That's not something you just think about something else and get over with it. No, that's something that consumes you. See, so that's the difference between what we tell people and what they actually going to experience. And at that point, they're going to wish they listened, but it's going to be too late. We ain't got nothing to say to you at that point. And the Most High is going to put the Spirit on us to where we're not going to feel bad for you. You know, because the Lord's going to put the Spirit on us to see not what you look like now, but what you look like before. Got it?
Judges 2. Hold up. I just had it. Oh, I'll stop on top. And Judges 2:12, and it reads, "And they forsook the Lord God of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Lord to anger."
Yeah, so now think about this, right? Even for us of lesser intelligence compared to the Lord, we see the stupidity in that. To the point where the Lord asked, you know, if you have a life source, right, would you forsake that for what? Death? No, it doesn't make sense. And the Lord said, like ask the nations and see when has this ever been done. The dumbass shit that Israel's doing, see when has that ever been done? That somebody says, I'm gonna take away. It's like during a famine, you get up and say, I'm giving away my bunker full of food so I can go live in the wilderness in a famine. That's what it's likened on to. So if even us of lesser intelligence look at this, how dumb this shit is, to where you got an actual living God that judges you, that blesses you, that takes care of you, and you say, I'm gonna forsake him, so that tree right there, I could cut that tree, mold it into an idol, and bow down to that, and attribute all these things to that tree, that idol, that piece of wood, which is literally just a piece of wood. You see how dumb that is to us? How much more for the Most High? To look at, to behold that, he's just like, like, is this real? Is this shit is real? Is Israel real? These are fake. Got it.
So that kind of reminds me of back in the day, that movie came out. It was called Temptation, Tyler Perry movie. And basically, I don't know the character's name, but I know the actor's name, Lance Ross. He was in a relationship with the chick. They grew up together, and they eventually got in a relationship, got married, and everything. And essentially, she eventually fall for, like, I think it was an African guy. He had like bald head or whatever. And I mean, that's what he was. And then eventually she falls for the African dude, and eventually she goes to him, and eventually it's found out that I think he had like an STD or something. And at the end of the movie, she she gets it, and I think it messes up her whole body. And at the end of the movie, you see her, she's not the same. She's like a little messed up. And she's telling, I guess she's like telling other people a story to like tell them, hey, don't follow in the footsteps that I follow. But it's like, you gotta imagine who the Lance Ross guy, he's like, yo, like, what the hell is this? I gave you everything. We grew up together, we this and that, the honeymoon phase, all this. We was gonna eventually start a good life together, and then you just fall for this dickhead over here, just because he looked a little nice, because he appears, because that's how it usually falls with the philosophies and the idol. It appears to be like, oh, you're going according to what you see. It's gold, it's silver, it may have a little bit of clothing on it, so it looks nice or whatever, right? The same thing like the philosophies, like in I can't remember, is it Proverbs 6th chapter, or the 7th chapter? They're like his the left-hand philosophy unto a woman, and she's like, oh, let's get the aloes for the cinnamon and the arrows and the I thought it was Proverbs.
Well, oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, you're right.
And then the myrrh, I got that for the bed. So all that as a man, you hear like, oh shit, she got the cinnamon, the myrrh, the silk for the. Oh, we about to fuck on this shit, have a good time. But it's sounding good. It's not because what? It's appealing to your mind, but you're not realizing that, like the Lord said, our steps go down to hell. She's leading you down a wrong path, basically to a path of adultery. And that's essentially what the guy did. It's like, oh, I'm gonna just steal. What is it? TYB? Take your bitch. I took her, and then what? I gave her STD. So that's what he traded. A good man for STDs at the end of it. That's what Israel did. You trade the Lord, the living God, for pretty much a piece of wood, something that doesn't exist. Make it make sense.
And a black eye.
Yeah, the messed up body, the messed up mind. You know, that's Israel. You know, that's what they want. You know, that's what they want. It's the things that it's not good for them. But the Lord is going to open up their eyes. And as a matter of fact, that's why the Most High set up the order that He did, because the Lord knows how He designed women. You know, you ain't going. You're not going to put a lion in water and expect it to swim. You're not going to put it on a boat and give it paddles and expect the lion to start canoeing. It doesn't work that way. That's not in the lion's nature. And the fish is not going to be on land walking on 2 feet. It doesn't work that way. So you gotta live in harmony with nature as nature was meant to live. So when you create a society that's anti-nature, you can't expect to get consistent results when you're doing what's against nature. That women, as I said, she fell for this guy. Well, if she wasn't around him, she wouldn't have had a chance to. You know? So that's how you apply wisdom, in the sense that, okay, if I know I got a wild dog, I got to keep it on the leash, right? Because if it's not on a leash, it might bite somebody. So you got to consider these things. But what they do is Esau creates an environment where it's harder for you to keep the dog on a leash so that it can bite somebody, right? He creates an environment of male dominance and throws females in there who have relationships so that, what do you think is going to happen, right? Anyway.
The scripture in the Apocrypha, so now, not roughly paraphrasing, don't sit at all with a married woman.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, stuff like that can happen.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Judges 2:13, and it reads, and they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtaroth.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the gods of these other nations. Go ahead.
And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and He delivered them into the hands of the spoilers that spoiled them.
So the spoilers being the neighboring nations that the Lord raised up to basically come against Israel. So it says when they did that, the anger of the Lord was hot against them, meaning the Lord got very angry at them. And so He set up these other nations. All right, you get them, punish them. Go ahead.
And He sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies.
Mm-hmm. So meaning that we couldn't resist the might of so whether it was the Midianites or the Moabites or the Ammonites, we couldn't resist their forces. That's what the Lord did by selling us into their hands. So we ended up being slaves under them, suffering captivity under them. Go ahead.
Whithersoever they went out, the hand of the Lord was against them for evil.
Yeah. So in whatever it is that you did, when it says they went out, meaning whatever it is that Israel did, it backfired on them. Whether you try to plant crops or you try to, fight against them or you try to resist them, it wasn't going to work in our favor because the Lord was against us. Go ahead.
As the Lord has said, and as the Lord has sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed.
So what? The Most High distressed Israel. For what? For their disobedience. But if they learn, well, let's keep reading.
Nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them.
Yeah, so you had like Gideon and all these other men that the Lord raised up to deliver Israel out of the captivity they were in, because they cried unto the Lord. And then what happened?
And yet they were not hearkened unto their judges, but they went out a whoring after other gods.
But they went out a whoring after other gods. So just like Shalimar, you were saying, it's like having a child. Your child does something wrong, you punish them, then they say they're sorry, you forgive them, and right as you've forgiven them, they go right back to the same thing that they just did. And you wondering in your head, is there something wrong with this kid? Or is there something wrong with me? Did I pass on some bad genes to this child? Because I don't understand, like, how does that work? And that's what the Most High is like. He's like, yo, how is this even a thing? Even the heathens wouldn't do this, and the heathens are less than you. Here it is. You have you know, Elamites and so on and so forth. You know, as weird as some of them are, they still would have common sense enough to know that, all right, hold on, after one or two or three times, you should get the message right about now. Go ahead.
Hold on. In verse 4, it says, "And it came to pass when the angel of the Lord spake these words unto all the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voice and wept. And after that, they sacrificed unto the Lord." But like right after, they forsook the Lord again, cried unto the Lord saved them, forsook the Lord again. Like, what did they expect? What will happen?
Yep. That's like you know, but it's like the same cycle of people who do drugs. You know, they get addicted, they go to rehab, and then they relapse, and then the cycle starts all over again. Because you know they'll have those centers where you go and you talk about, it's like a little circle. They talk about their problems and so on. Yeah, that, and then they give them chips.
Anonymous.
What was it?
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah. I think that's the acronym for it. And they'll give them a little chip, you know, like a little actual, thing for it, which is like, oh, you've been like this many years sober or this many months sober and so on and so forth, right? Well, this is like that. You know, here it is. You go, but they don't get a chip for a year or two. No. The second they leave that they make it to the point where they got to go to these rehab meetings. The day one they let them out, they're right back in the street corners looking for some drugs. You know, it's singing around the edges, sir. You know, they're looking for the crack. You know, go ahead.
Judges 2:17, and it reads, "And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a whoring after other gods."
So the judges that the Lord raised up onto them to deliver them, they didn't listen to them. So they're like, we just got out of captivity, getting ready to go right into the next one. See you on the other side. And then they'll go right back. As it says, they went a whoring after these gods again. Go on.
And bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord, but they did not so.
So you ever seen those news articles where it's like, oh, this guy was in jail for assault, and then they finally let him out, and then the next day he's back in jail again, and you wondering like, yo, what's up with this guy? And they're like, oh, he's been in jail, like, yeah, he's been here, he's a regular. He comes there every wintertime. I think there was actually a story like that where this guy would commit crimes, and then whenever they would let him out, he would be on good behavior, but right before wintertime, he's going to commit another crime. Because in his mind, he said, well, it's better in the prison than to be out on the streets in the wintertime. So I'll commit a crime that can last me long enough. I'll be back in there. At least I'll get something to eat. I'll get somewhere to lay my head. And then, once they let me back out, I'll be back out in these streets. So it'd be Jake that does the most absurd things that you're wondering like, yo, these heathens are, yes, mentally on certain things, these heathens are very low. But there's certain things that Jake do that is even lower than that of the heathen. And you wonder, you're like, yo, I would rather be in the neighborhood with freaking Elamites than in the neighborhood with Jake. That's crazy. But that's because of how low and degenerate they've become. Because you know what? If I'm in the neighborhood with Elam, worst comes to worst. If they want to throw hands, yeah, I'd knock his ass out. But I know that Elam isn't gonna try and start trouble. They're gonna go about their own way. They're gonna eat their chicken biryani. They're gonna do their shit. But they're not gonna be out here trying to play loud ass music on the block, opening the damn fire hydrant, flooding the streets. Here it is, you in a Jake neighborhood, and all they do every day, pull out the stupid ass beach chairs on the corners, open up the damn fire hose, and play loud Hispanic music all day. 2-3 a.m. they're playing this damn loud ass music. And don't let it be 4th of July. Got the fireworks just go, and you're like, yo, how do you live like this? And you wake up and repeat. Wake up and repeat. Wake up and repeat. Wake up and repeat. There's no peace. You got it, bro. Oh,
yeah. I was gonna say, even look at how they live, right? There's one building I did security in, and you should see the way they leave it. It's not just. I'm not just talking about like soda cans and chip bags in this thing. I'm talking about pissing. I'm talking about, pissing in the staircase, spitting on it because they would smoke their weed right there, and then I gotta do the rounds, and I gotta fucking down the fucking stairs like this and shit. But yeah, that's how they live. Sometimes it's shit in the elevator.
Bruh. Damn.
Yeah. So look at how they live. Like they don't care. Like yeah, we'll piss in the elevator, but who gives a damn if other people got to come in the elevator? I'll piss in there. Not me. I'm just saying, but they'll piss in there. They'll shit in there. Look at how they. I see it all the time. The staircase and shit. It's like, yo, you're living here. So they don't have any regard. Now, mind you, they probably won't do that in their own crib like that. But think about it. It's not just your place that you're living in. It's other people as well. Have some consideration. But it shows you that they don't have any, like you're saying, I have to deal with that same thing. Loud ass music. Like, yo, I don't have to fucking hear this shit. Like sometimes I know when they're about to play loud ass music, because guess what? I hear the PlayStation sound come on. That's how I know. Once I hear that fucking sound, I'm like, okay, they're about to play a loud ass music. And it's like no consideration because like, oh, nobody else, like everybody wants to hear this fucking music. Y'all killing niggas. Like, I don't want to fucking hear that shit. But if they want to listen to it, not everybody got to listen to it. I remember one time there was a guy in the building. I don't know what building it was. I guess he just had enough. He just started screaming to the top of the building. It was like, yo, take that shit off. Fuck wrong with y'all? I want to hear that shit. It's late at night. People got work. He got fed up. And at a certain point, he may look at it like, yo, relax. But it's like, it's the truth. Like, come on. Like, what's wrong with you? People got to sleep and you doing this type of stuff.
Yep. They don't move like normal. They're not normal. That's the thing, right? They don't move like they're normal. They move like animals. You know, even animals got more order than them. Animals, it's time to sleep. You go to sleep, they're gonna go to sleep. You know, you feed them, they're gonna eat. You know, if you instruct an animal in the right way, it's gonna follow it. You instruct Jake in the right way, they're gonna do the opposite. Here it is. You like you said, you walk up in the building, the freaking front door got the glass shattered. You know,
nothing. They always suck. They always leaving the door. I'm like, yo, this is how you prevent people from coming in.
Yep.
Stop doing that shit. Now, I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple of times in my nigga year I did kind of do that because sometimes I have my key for the door. I'm not gonna lie. But once I got I'm like, stop
well, you had a
doing
reason.
that
You had a
shit.
good reason. Yeah.
Sometimes the whole thing would be. I'm like, what in the fuck? I'm like, yo, fuck, am I living? You wonder, are you living with animals? Because think about it, that's how animals would do. Because animals don't know, okay, I gotta open. Now, some animals are smart to open, but that's what an animal do. Like, you know, you send the music with the bears, they'll just burst through the fucking thing. It's like, yo, what the fuck?
and they just jump in. They don't give a damn. 2, 3 of them right up in your bathroom while you're using the bathroom. You know, and if you got to go out that way, I don't know what to tell you. But here it is. You go in. It's like it's dirty ass hallways. In fact, like you're walking in this trash. Like you're walking in this literally. It's like a garbage dump that you're walking in. You in the elevator and there's some dirty ass sodomite. He gets to his floor instead of leaving. He gonna freaking pull his pants down, bow down, do the freaking drop it like it's hot in front of you.
They could use their gifts for wickedness, man. Like Jake is not a regular sodomite. Jake is I'm gonna do a backflip into a split, all right, with some high heels and do some next level extra shit. Like Elam can't do that shit. Moab can't be a Mo. Like Jake, when they take it to whatever they do, they're gonna be great at it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Whether it be wickedness, all right, or whether it be because we're the only ones that could present a sacrifice that the Lord is pleased with.
Mhm.
If the Lord didn't have the spirit on his servants to come out here and present the sacrifice, everything would be wiped out.
Yep.
There'd be no reason for life to continue.
Right.
Just end it all. So this is the only thing. This is like that incense of Aaron that was holding against the wrath, that the Lord don't wipe out Israel completely. This is the only thing that's going to keep this bloodline going of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, you know? Without that, it would be finished. Because you see how our people are moving, man. But when Jake takes wickedness, all right, just as we serve the Lord and we go to the maximum, the best of our ability, Jake does wickedness to the best of their ability. They're not just a regular sodomite. No, that's not enough. They got to be extra flamboyant. They're not a regular rapper, you know, I could just rhyme a few words. No, they got to be, I'm the biggest drill nigga that I'll shoot your grandma, I'll kill your nephew. Right. You know, I'll grape your grandpa, nigga. Like, yo, damn.
That Jake that went up to the old lady's porch and went and freaking grape her.
Yeah, he started filling up.
Edomite lady, yo.
Copping the field. Like, damn, yo, bro, how do you look at yourself in the mirror, nigga?
That's just crazy, yo.
You don't have no shame. There's no shame with our people. And the Lord is going to bring back shame.
Yeah.
Okay, shame will be brought back. And in that day, you're going to value having a man around.
Mm-hmm.
All right, in that day, you're going to value having a man of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua around who's going to be more precious than fine gold. Okay? When the lights go out, you know, I remember at my crib one time, the lights went out.
Oh, okay.
There was a thunder, a lightning struck a cable like up the block, and the lights went out. All of a sudden, my family was looking at me like, "Yo, help!" Like, but meanwhile, the whole time they take you for granted. It's only in the time of trouble that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to be appreciated, all right, by our people. All right, we appreciate him now. But in the time of trouble, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's men are also going to be appreciated. Okay, because they're going to say, damn, you know, I need a man like that is a value. That's why you're going to have Isaiah 4:1. 7 women to 1 man. Okay, and that's just, you know, that's a spiritual number. It means completion. It could be more, could be a few less, but it's going to be a lot. Every woman is going to desire a man like that. Because when shit goes down, you the one that's going around out the side of the house and the thunder's striking down and the rain is pouring down. The woman ain't doing that. The children ain't doing that. They looking at you like, help us. But what happened? I thought I wasn't shit. You know? But then when the time when the necessity comes, that's when you're valued. When the necessity comes, that's when, yo, damn, yo, Pop, we need help, do something. You go outside, the thunder's striking down, you putting yourself in danger. Okay, just to get that generator going. Then the generator, oh, we love you so much. We appreciate you. Where's that appreciation the rest of the time? You see? And that's the problem with Jake. They're going to wait till the last minute. They're going to wait till the very last second and then try to turn coat. But you're going to have a sign in you that says that you was a rebellious whore, man.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, I was going to say just a quick testament to what you were just mentioning, right, about the women seeking a man. Now, this happened at a building I used to work at on 42nd Street. This is like when they would have those riots and things like that. And they would march down the street. And for whatever reason, a mob just came into the building that I worked at. So eventually, after, you know, and the police got the mob out the building, woman came down. She was very scared or whatever. Oh, no, she was there and she witnessed it, if I'm not mistaken. And I had went outside for whatever reason, outside the building, and I was just standing there because they just told me, I'm sorry, I remember now. They had told me just watch the premise just to make sure, see if anybody's coming or whatever. So as I'm standing there like this, she comes to my left-hand side. Mind you, she has a husband. Now, I didn't know that initially, but she stands on my left side. I'm just standing there like this. And she comes there, stand next to me. She's like, I'm just going to stay right next to you because you know what, you seem like you know what to do. I didn't look at her. I didn't say nothing. I'm like, but because she didn't know and she knew that I'm, now, mind you, if any other day in that building, she would have passed me by like nothing. But that day, because she saw what happened, she's like, I'm standing next to you, nigga. Mind you, I have the hair, the beard, the serious look, everything. That went out the window. I don't care how angry you look. I'm staying right. I need that angry look. I'm staying right. Mind you, she has a husband. But in that time, the husband wasn't available. So it's like, look, I need some type of male dominance authority to like, hey, hello, could you keep me safe?
Yep.
And when her husband came, then that's when she went to him. But it was like, I was like, what the hell?
Yep.
In my mind, so I would think like you would look for him, but obviously he wasn't around. So it's like, I gotta look for the next best thing in the meanwhile.
Right. Yeah. And that's the nature. That's what, like brother saying, that's what the Lord is gonna, that's why he said he's gonna make a man more precious than fine gold. Because societies, like these people live in an artificial world. You know, the reason men are valued in other overseas is because the kind of life they live requires a man. Like you need a man to be protected. Yo, I saw a video of this Uber driver. He was from the East. I think he was either from like Pakistan or some country over there. This guy, yo, this guy was telling this chick that he had picked up. He was like, she was recording him. I guess she didn't feel safe or whatever. So he's saying in mad comment shit. He's like, in a nutshell, you know, if this is he's like, oh, if this was back in my country, you know, pretty much I would have taken you. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, because you know that's the only way to get you, right? So I was like, yo, this guy, she got him on camera. She got me video camera. She got him on camera, and he's out here basically telling her, and he's saying it in like I'm serious, like, yeah, you know, if this was, because you're really nice, and all now, but you know, if this is back there, yeah, you know, I would just you know, take you wherever and they just had you, you know, because that's the only way to get you, right? Yeah, I would take. You take, I would take. Hey, but you can see it in his eyes that he looked like he was like not like a young man either. So you can see it. That's his intent. You know, he's like, and so you're thinking, oh, it's just Jake. That no. These heathens who in where they're from, that's a norm. When society, you know, goes all out, you know, when all hell breaks loose, they're gonna be catching you too. You know, they're gonna be catching because you hold on. This is human nature. A lot of them put on the like the outward appearance of like, oh, I'm disciplined and shit. But if they see fine shit, it doesn't matter if it's a hood nigga or a professional scholar. Fine shit is fine shit. You know, and we all think the same. You know, the same thing runs through everybody's mind. Damn, that's fine shit. So in his mind, he's thinking, well, shit. I mean, that's the only way to get you, right? Right? That's what he said. So he's going. I think he's gonna do what he got to do. And that time, like you were saying, you gonna win. What she had was her phone. She had her phone and she was recording him. And now in her mind, she thinks she's safe by just having her phone out there recording because why is that? Why is a phone a deterrent? Because he's not gonna think twice and say, well, if I'm recorded right now, you know, do something crazy. I don't know if it's live or not. Because if it's live, people will see it and they can eventually find me, right? And then that's it. But in order to find you, you need a system. You need detectives. You need, you know, people to actually look into a case and they can actually do the work to find you. But if all hell's broken loose and that's not working, how is the phone going to be a deterrent? It would just snatch the phone out your hands, you know? And at that point, now what? How can she slap? You know? I think she sounded like an Edomite. Yeah, she sounded like an Edomite. She might have been one of them fine little snow bunnies. You know him. It don't snow over there that much, so he wants some snow top. I got a precept actually. I had a quick precept. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 24. The Lord of hosts, Yahweh, hath sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. So going back to the title of There's No Stopping It, the fulfillment of these prophecies which we're seeing, now it's no longer about getting to the semifinal, right? We're not discussing getting to the semifinals. We're not discussing the steps before Jacob's trouble. Now we're literally we're here. We're looking at, okay, well, you know, we're waiting for the referee to blow the whistle to commence the start of the match. All right, that's pretty much where we are right now. You got people that still think it's a game. They're about to lose their benefits, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. Because like we were telling you, this shutdown, I think they said it's been like the 12th time already that the Senate shut down the Democrats' attempt to reopen the government. So they're telling you straight up that, yo, calm down, enough with the tries. Like we got an agenda here, bro. Like, and if we haven't reached that, like, calm down, because we ain't opening this shit. So just take a seat. Go do something with yourself somewhere.
Hey, but oh, Slacky, you got it, bro.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say real quick, another reason, not the main reason, but another reason why they got this whole stalemate is because, remember, Trump keeps talking about healthcare reform. Okay, healthcare reform is because a lot of these insurance companies, all right, they got their hands in this shit. All right, so it's kind of like we want to make sure that the budget that's coming for 2026 is covering the insurance companies and not the people themselves. So that's also part of the stalemate, is that you got both sides saying, yo, how are we going to be able to make this work that makes sense where it's not too much of a red flag? Because you're pretty much going to be taking care of the insurance companies and giving them more power over the regulation of healthcare and so on and so forth. And remember, what they want to do is they want to transition from what we have now to that system dependence of Medicaid, Medicare, all that shit. They want to make sure that it branches into something known as One Health. Okay, so it's all about how do we get the people to transition. They already got the IRS, they got Social Security. So now it's how do we get the Medicare part, and that's all part of it. So this is all. It's not just a shutdown of, oh, we can't agree on something. No, there's a lot of things at play here. And once it's all finished and it's fully fleshed out, 2026 is going to make a lot more sense. Where it's like, oh, so when they were doing this means this. Oh, Project 25 was really the setup for this. Oh, this the Genius Act, the stable coin thing that he signed, the so-called Project Stargate, Doge, all this shit is all finally gonna make sense. All right, the contract that they give to Palantir, all these different things gonna finally make sense in 2026. Just watch, and maybe even before that. All right, before that, but we definitely seeing things, man. We definitely seeing things. All right, but you got it, bro.
Add one thing to what you said, Al-Haran, that another thing about Trump, and I dropped it in the chat, is that he's tearing down a portion of the White House to rebuild it, right? And when you look at what Nero did after he burned Rome, he appropriated funds in order to build something called the Golden House, which was one of the greatest building projects in Rome's history. Okay, so what they're saying about Trump, and this is another one of those Nero Trump parallels. Okay, the White House, the Golden House. He hasn't named it. If he calls it the Golden House, that'd be crazy.
I think they said he was gonna try to name it after himself or something.
Yeah, he's gonna probably name it, and if he has a big statue of himself, that's just like what Nero did. He's fulfilling his lot to the T. But one thing I had noticed too is that project is gonna take a certain period of time. So he's not putting all that money into it, private funding and all that, just to give it to somebody else. I believe he fully intends on staying in office as long as possible, because by the time it's done, his term will probably be almost over. So he's only going to enjoy it for a year. He's doing all that so that he could probably enjoy it, because the elites are probably like, shit, you the man to do what we want to do. So they might leave him in there. And hopefully we out of here before then, but I'm just going to show you his mentality is that shit. He's going to be the dictator. He's going to be the king. Y'all want to talk about some no kings? Fuck it. I'll be the king of Babylon. A cruel lord, man. So watch, we'll be paying attention to all that to see how it plays out, man. 2026 is going to be a very interesting year in prophecy.
Yeah, it could be a reason why the scriptures kept referring to the king of Babylon explicitly, knowing very well that this place doesn't deal with kings, right? It deal with presidents, short terms. You know, so for it to be called a king of Babylon, it might have actually just been like a foreshadowing of like one that comes into power and actually becomes like a king.
Palpatine 47. Yep. We'll have the Death Star over there in the White House.
Hey, I mean, Salaki, bro.
Yeah, make your point quick, then you go ahead.
I saw a notification on my phone, I think last night when I was about to fall asleep. It was like breaking news: Trump is going to stay in for another term. I didn't click on it to see if it's real or not, but it just might be.
Yeah, he posted a image on Truth Social. It's funny he calls it Truth Social, and it was like a meme of him. And then I think down there it said like it said it was something about like being in office forever. It was like one of those candidate running things, but it's like something forever. I forgot.
28, 32.
Yeah,
36.
no, yeah.
Kept going and going. Like, nigga, you ain't got that many years left.
Yeah.
Got them. They believe that they're gonna continue on. You know,
Yeah, Psalms 49.
yeah, they just gonna think that they keep going, but the Lord is gonna cut them short.
That's the spirit. I got it right here. Psalms chapter 49, verse 11. That's the spirit. All right. Psalms chapter 49, verse 11. All right. This is pretty much for all these elites. All right. They got the power and they think that they're going to continue to just change things and live forever. JP Morgan just set up a new headquarters down in on Park Ave. All right. Worth over, it was a $3.9 billion. That they just built that shit. Okay. And they opened it. So now it's ready to go. And, it's ready to go. And they said that all the employees that got to work in that building, you're required to come in with that biometrics. Okay, so they found the same blueprint as 3 Square Market, where the employees are all, you know what? So it's coming. 2026 is going to be a big year because all these companies are going to follow the same pattern. All right, there's a book of Psalm chapter 49, verse 11. It says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names," right? So all these wars, the makers of war, all right, is all because what they want to establish themselves as rulers for the foreseeable future. As in, we're going to use AI to establish our power and dominion over this earth, whether people like it or not. If you don't like it, we're going to just make war against you, right? Who shall make war against the beast? So they're just making that stand, and they're going to continue that with AI, artificial immortality. So they're thinking they completely disregard everything that we say. That's why Trump said there'll be no World War III. That's not going to happen, because in their mind they've told him, you're going to be the king. We're going to put you on. We're going to give you everything you need. Just get us to this point. All right. So in his mind, he's just following the script. But guess what? The script is also written by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You're going to follow it to a T all the way to your own demise, nigga. That's what's coming for you devils. All right. But you got it, bro.
Done. Beautiful. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. My brother, got anything else? Cool.
We have one more.
Oh, you got it.
Psalms 89 and 34. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that has gone out of my lips. So, hey, that just goes to show you the Lord, and this is dealing with the Lord's mercy. When you read down, it's talking about the house of David. On the flip side, though, the Lord, his covenant and his agreement is with Israel, but really he's dealing with the elect of Israel. And it just goes to show you that he's not going to alter what comes out of his lips. All that replacement theology bullshit that they coming with, the Lord said he's not going to alter what comes out of his lips. There is no alteration to this. And that goes double for the judgment. All right. It goes twofold for the judgment. So whatever the Lord ordained to do, he's going to do it. Nobody can change his mind. All right. We can't change his mind. And even if we could, we wouldn't want to. Okay. And look, Moses tried it. You know, he at certain times to try to reason with the Lord. The Lord, once he set on doing it, that's it. Even his most beloved, desired servant cannot change his mind because he's the boss at the end of the day. We the servants.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I just
I'm gonna read it.
you want to be like, yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah, I read that.
This is Jeremiah 4:28. For this shall the earth mourn, and the heavens above be black, because I have spoken it. I have purposed it, and will not repent. Neither will I turn back from it.
And that's why the title is "There is no stopping it," because the Most High is the one bringing it. As the scriptures tell you, can you turn back the arrow to the shot of a mighty archer? The answer is no. So you can't stop what's coming. You either get along or you're gonna get rolled, bowled down. And with that, we'll end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. Closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.